Olive is looking at you right now. She has been looking at you for the last 30 seconds. And most owners, if they are honest, would say they have no real idea what their dog sees when they do that. You probably assume she sees her owner, maybe her favorite person, maybe, if you are feeling generous about it, her best friend. But the truth is far more extraordinary than any of those answers. And when you understand what scientists have actually found, not what we assume, not what we project, the way you experience this moment with your dog will never be quite the same again. Here is the assumption most of us carry. We assume that because we love our dogs and because they seem to love us back, the experience is roughly symmetrical. That they look at us and feel something like what we feel when we look at them. Affection, familiarity, comfort. You might have heard the idea that cats think you are just a very large, incompetent cat. That they do not distinguish between you and another member of their colony. That you are to a cat simply part of the furniture that occasionally opens tins. And you might have assumed the same logic applies to your dog. It does not. In fact, the mistake goes in the opposite direction entirely. We tend to undersell what is happening when a dog looks at us, not because we are not paying attention, but because the reality of it is so far beyond what we would expect that it sounds, at first, like sentiment rather than science. Over 15,000 years of living alongside humans, dogs evolved an entirely separate set of social behaviors, specifically and exclusively for us. Brian Hare, cognitive scientist and co-director of the Duke Canine Cognition Center, found something that stopped researchers in their tracks. When you point at something, your dog follows your finger. A chimpanzee, our closest primate relative, does not reliably do this. A wolf raised by humans does not do this. Your dog understands the language of human intention in a way that no other animal, not even the species most genetically similar to us, can match. Dogs did not learn this. They evolved it. But it goes deeper than pointing. Researchers from the University of Bari and the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna found that when dogs are shown photographs of human faces, people they have never met, in neutral, happy, and angry expressions, they show something called the left gaze bias. When humans look at a human face, our eyes drift naturally to the left side of that face first, because the right hemisphere of the human brain processes emotion and controls the left side of the face. That side is more expressive. We evolved to read it. Your dog does the exact same thing, but only for human faces, not for dog faces, not for objects, only for ours. Dogs evolved a specifically human-directed way of reading emotion. A perceptual reflex calibrated entirely to you. This means Olive is not simply watching you, she is reading you. Micro-expressions, subtle shifts in facial muscle. The difference between the face you show the world and the face that appears when your guard drops, even for a fraction of a second. Olive catches those fractions. And in 2015, a team at Azabu University in Japan published a paper in the journal Science that tied all of this together. When dogs and their owners simply gaze into each other's eyes, both the dog and the human show a measurable rise in oxytocin, the bonding hormone. The same chemical surge that occurs between a mother and her newborn child in the first moments after birth. Your dog does not just look at you, they look at you, and their brain releases its most powerful bonding signal, and yours does the same in return. When Olive first came home, she did not look at anyone, not directly. She looked at the floor, at the corner of the room, at a point just past whoever was in front of her, close enough to monitor, careful enough not to engage. That is what fear looks like in a dog's eyes. Not aggression, not dramatic behavior, just a gaze that has learned not to land anywhere for too long. In her first weeks, Olive would position herself in doorways, one eye on the room, one eye on the exit. Exactly as researchers describe the vigilance posture of a dog in a chronic stress state, what the science calls hypervigilance, the nervous system perpetually scanning for threat, unable to settle, unable to trust that the next moment will be safe. She ate facing sideways so she could watch the room while she was vulnerable. She slept with one ear up. She had never learned to be looked at without something following. And then, slowly, not in a day, not in a week, something changed. She started to hold the gaze, not long, a second, maybe two, but deliberate, and every time she did it, something happened between us that I did not have the science for yet. Something that felt significant in a way that was difficult to name. Now I know what it was. That 2-second gaze was oxytocin, building. It was a nervous system that had learned, for the first time, that being seen did not mean being in danger. It was 15,000 years of evolution finally finding the moment it had been shaped for. Olive wasn't performing connection. She was, for the first time, able to have it. Here is what that means beyond Olive. The gaze that passes between a dog and the person they trust is not decorative. It is not companionship as a vague concept. It is a documented biological loop, a feedback cycle of bonding that both species trigger in each other through nothing more than looking. Olive, in her early weeks, could not enter that loop. Her nervous system would not allow it. She had learned that the gaze of another creature was something to be careful of, something that preceded something else, so she withheld it. What changed was not training. It was not commands. It was the slow, patient accumulation of experiences in which being seen was followed by nothing harmful, in which the gaze of another creature began to feel like safety rather than threat. That is not a dog story. That is a story about every living thing that has ever needed time to learn that trust is possible. Your dog does not see a human when they look at you. They do not see an owner. They do not see someone who fills the bowl and opens the door. According to the research, the actual peer-reviewed science, they see the one presence their entire biology was built to find. You are the face their eyes evolved specifically to read. You are the scent their reward center lights up for. You are the gaze that triggers their most powerful bonding chemistry. Olive is looking at you right now, and now you know what that actually means. Olive is a real rescue dog. Through her journey from fear to belonging, this channel explores what dogs may be trying to tell us and what that reveals about trust, safety, and what it means to finally feel at home.